Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, hopefully, today I have a new camera, which hopefully will work better than it did before. Man, I was having all kinds of issues. Damn. Hold on. I gotta redo this. Hold on. Coinbase is one of the largest. Oh, come on. Come on. I'm trying to go live on TikTok here. Do you know your This is the. Come on. Let me go. All right. Just hardest thing to seem to get it to go right at the same time. So sorry for the delay here. I'll just do that, and then hopefully this will work now. There we go. Another today. It's never perfect with It's never perfect without. Let's just do that. Come on. All right. Let me try again. With the live. I'm just having a lot of trouble with the live for some reason on the TikTok. I can't get it to go. So let's X that out. Discard. Start over. Come on. All right. So hopefully this will go now. Oh, darn it. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me just take this off for just a second here, and I'll just. Back on. There we go. Okay, so I think we're back now. We're finally live again, and hopefully you can see me. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Not that it's that important to see me, but anyways. There we go. Okay. So I think we're finally moving it correctly here. So without further ado, let's get into some of these slides here. And I'm just gonna do that real quick. Go. All right. Let's see if I can. There. Okay. There we go. Okay. I think we're finally going here. So, anyways, here goes. Basically, today we have it's definitely a green day, and Nvidia really moved up very nicely today. 264 stocks are up, 34 down. We do have some breakouts, which I want to talk about, and there's about 17 stocks near pivot, so it's pretty good. When it when all things are set, it's looking pretty decent out there right now in the market. I just wanted to show you several stocks here. First of all, the Nasdaq Composite. The Nasdaq Composite, as you can see, has moved up significantly, almost at the 15,000 range. That would be significant if it were to hold that level, because that is a very significant level for the Nasdaq. I mean, we've moved through the 14,000, and now we're at the 15,000. It looks like we're in an uptrend. So at least what my charts are telling us is that expect, at least for the time being, at least for maybe a week or two, we're going to be in an uptrend, and that's what it looks like. We're going to be in an uptrend. We tested basically last week. Basically Wednesday was the last down day, and then Thursday, Friday, and today are up. So, at least for the near-term future, we're looking at moving higher. So that is very, very interesting. I wanted to show you the stock that did break out today. It's in mode, and I think a lot of people have heard of this stock, but it's really, really good. And it's up. The volume is up 82%. at 118.97. Now, could you buy it at this level? Well, actually, you probably could, because 118 is sort of the resistance level there. We have this tremendous RS line, and it just seems to be doing really good. This is basically an Israeli developer of radio RFI devices for minimally invasive surgery. So it's doing quite well in mode. You might want to put that one on your radar screen. INMD is the symbol for that. All right. So getting to the stock that I was talking to you about, and that, of course, is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up strongly today, very, very strongly today. It's up $10.94 or 5.25. And if you've been watching me for any time, you know that I'm very much a fan of NVIDIA. I bought it in all four. I bought it in 4 portfolios this morning, and of course, prior to this, I had a spread on it. So I think we're starting. We've based out now. We went through that 4-for-1 split. We've based out, and it looks like we're back in the saddle again, at least for right now, with NVIDIA. So I just wanted to kind of give you an idea on that. It's up 44% in volume, and more importantly, it's up 5.25% in price. So at $219, it's very, very powerful. Now, don't expect, if you're to buy it here, you're a little bit extended, unfortunately. Really, the time to buy it was on Friday or this morning, as I did. So wait for this. It's probably going to pull back a little bit. We're probably going to see NVIDIA pull back a little bit, but very, very strong. It should be on your radar screen, because I think it's going to be very, very big. Another stock that I was buying today is Snap. Snap. And I also have a spread on this one as well. We just moved into a nice buy range from a consolidation. Basically, the entry point 73.69. It's 75, so it's definitely in the buy zone right now. It would have been very difficult to buy this on Friday just because it was below that buy zone. So right now, it kind of gives you a green light to possibly look at this stock, Snap, SNAP. This is what I'm currently holding right now. Of course, I have Apple. It's up today. It's at that very critical 150 level. I think that if Apple is able to hold above 150, it's going to go a little bit higher, probably 165 or so. The volume's down. This is a little bit concerning, but this is the key level right now for Apple is about 150. That's the key level. Up a little bit on Palantir. This was bought off of reversals, up about 3.6%. It's a little bit less expensive stock, of course. Robert Half, of course, they're in the staffing business, and they're up a little bit as well. Berkshire, I'm up on that one. Pretty much, I'm green across the board, which is really nice for a change, rather than being mixed or being red. So I really, really like that. This is, of course, Capital One Financial. It's up 1.43. Then we have ST Micro. This is in the chip sector, of course. This one has been doing extremely well. It just keeps on. It doesn't really move very, very much each day, but it moves up, and that is the key. So this one you might want to put on your list as well. COF, Capital One Financial. And, of course, Goldman Sachs, nice move today. Of course, it's an expensive stock. The $400 level is the key there. It's up basically at 402.45. Not a lot of volume. This is a little concerning. I'd like to see some more volume here, but it's up $6.58 or about 1.66%. Trex is another one that seems to be doing well. This is the plastic wood company. They seem to be doing well as well. Matson Lines. This is a freight company. This is actually the last of the U.S.-based container carriers. MATX is the symbol. They're based in Honolulu, Hawaii, and they have had a very good run. But again, I'd like to see some more volume there, but it's up 2.93. Macy's, this has been another good one for me. Interestingly enough, the department stores are the number 2 category right now out of all of the stock market. So very interesting that Macy's would be so good, but it has definitely moved up. It's probably a little bit past the buy zone. And of course, we talked just recently, just a few minutes ago, about NVIDIA. Between the times that these slides were taken, this one is actually up. It's up, 5.42% NVIDIA just today. And of course, Snap is up today as well, almost 4%. So that's pretty good, but it's not as much volume. So I just kind of wanted to show you those, and that's sort of how it's stacking up. So to get back to everybody's questions here, and we'll be doing that in just a second. Let me kind of adjust things here. Okay, go. Almost worked. There we go. All right. And we're going to get to some of the questions. And let's see, what is the first question? Thank you very much for holding on. Thanks for dealing with my my crazy lack of technical savvy. That seems to be happening on a regular basis. The question is, hello, Jim, is a market correction coming soon? Well, I think yes and no. It's funny. We seem to keep dodging these bullets, and it's interesting because we seem to keep dodging these bullets. It just seems to happen that way, where we'll get the down week like we did this week, then we'll get the up week, and it seems like it's correcting. At least for right now, at least in the short term, it looks as if we are going to be moving up for a while, at least probably for a week or two. Now, overall, at the end of the day, I don't know if that's going to be the case, because there's a lot of there's a lot of clouds on the horizon. Albeit the political situation is awful. We have tremendous potential inflation coming. There's just a lot of clouds on the horizon. So, but right now I'm getting back. I'm moving in. I'm not fully invested, but I was able to allocate. Some more of the small portfolio, which was very nice. I was mostly in cash, and also I was able to allocate some of my other portfolios. I still have some that are mainly cash, so I would like to be more invested than I am now. But the situation is getting better. So it seems like it's getting better. I know that sounds very odd to you, but it does seem as if the situation is getting better. So let's take a look. Looking at Ken. What is Ken? I don't know Ken. KEN. Let's see. Kenton Holdings, Singapore-based company. Okay, power facilities. Well, that's an interesting thing. It's kind of an infrastructure play. It looks like, kind of like a General Electric, maybe for Southeast Asia. That would be a good play. I'm telling you, that would be a good play. Like the chart a lot. I'm telling you, I like this chart. There's a consolidation. It's moved above that. The buy point 36.49 on this is currently 39.85. Look at that volume. Wow, that's up 3.27%. It looks as if there's money looking for a home, because this one has a 93 relative strength. I just want to kind of look at this to see kind of what their situation is in terms of the checklist. Well, checklist is very good, 78%. The only thing they're missing on is volume and EPS rating. So let's kind of take a look over here on the weekly chart to see. Yeah, this is an excellent chart. Look at that. Nice earnings. Their sales are up 20%, but what's really key is their earnings were up 1,000%. Wow, that's incredible. 68% on the funds. That's very, very good too. It's a little bit underinvested as far as funds are going. Okay, so it's a holding company interested in power facilities. So this is sort of like a Calpine, it sounds like. I'm not familiar with the company. Return on equity, 59%. That is incredible. Look at this cash flow. 9.36. This is a, if you're looking for a dividend play, boy, this is a good one. This is a good one. The question is, okay, the composite rating. Okay, so it's in alternative energy other. I don't really would think it would be in that, but it is. Boy, this is interesting. I definitely think this is interesting. I mean, would I buy it at this level? It's a little extended, but I would consider possibly going a half position. This is a good chart. This is a very good chart. And from what I'm seeing, that could be a very, very nice play. I mean, that could be a very nice play here. So that looks good to me. That definitely looks very good to me. So I would probably start with maybe a half or a quarter position. Looking at Plug Power. Plug kind of was the stock of last year. I'm not so sure about this year. It's funny how things go in and out of vogue. But here's the problem with plug power that I can see. I'm looking at the weekly chart here, is that I did draw a reversal line here. This was its peak. It's come down ever since. Right now, this is a falling knife, I'm afraid. So I wouldn't be, if you've lost more than 7% in this issue, and I'm not trying to, say anything, but if you're off more than 7% in plug, I would consider selling it. It has a downward trending chart, and that's just basically the end all be all. Basically where it's at. It's below the 200-day line. We don't really want to buy a stock below the 200-day line unless there's special circumstance. So that's not good. It's in a downward trend. That's not good. So I would just have to be very. I would have to say, I would have to say in this one, I would say, this is just not a buy right now. I mean, so I would not be buying this one, and I wouldn't. And if I had it, I would probably sell it. It's just not looking good. Plug power PLUG, I just don't think you want it. And I'm not trying to trash it, but it's just not a good. It's not a good chart, and I think you kind of want to avoid it. So that's what I would do, anyways, for that. So I would avoid plug. I would definitely avoid plug on that. All right. Oh, thank you very much for that on NVIDIA. Interesting. The breakout was about that 207. Thank you, man. Thank you. So appreciate that. I'm gonna kind of thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. I love it when I get great comments like that. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna kind of just click down there. Yeah, basically what happened, I'll kind of show you with NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is really a class stock right now, and it was forming a base, and then that's the thing. No stock can go up straight forever. It has to form a base, and then when it forms a base, then a lot of times it will be good to go. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on this a little bit here. There we go. Hopefully that will let me zoom in there. Yeah, it's letting me zoom in here a little bit. There we go. Okay, it's a little bit slow, but it's getting better. It's getting better. It's kind of like the Monty Python. He's not dead yet. So basically, yeah. What this was a classic cup with handle base. And by the way, this is a really good way to buy a stock. Is when you have these very, very nice patterns. These. This cup with handle, and then this buy point. My system is indicating a 207.33 buy point. 207.50. That's about right. And then boom, it's moved up right. It's a little extended right now. Could you still buy it? Well, I am very bullish on NVIDIA in general, so I do think you could buy it. I do think you could buy it at these levels. Would I be buying it anymore at this level? Well, I figured it would move quickly, so I tended to. I bought it in 4 of my my portfolios today. Basically, almost, really within 30 minutes of trading. But I think this one will do well, and everybody that's in it, I think we're gonna have a nice ride here. By the way, I do believe that we are going to see it move. It's going to probably move into about I do believe it's going to be about 250 by the end of next month. I think that's a very good likelihood that we're going to see about 250. It's really hard to say exactly, where everything is going to go. They're very difficult, but I definitely think we're going to see it move quite a bit higher. So this might be a good time to consider maybe a call spread, and I may be putting up some more call spreads up there, because I do think that NVIDIA might be a very good candidate for that, and you could do very, very well on that, and hopefully make some money. That's the whole key. Now let's look at Tesla. Tesla is probably not as good in as good a situation as NVIDIA is. So I'm just pulling up the Tesla chart here. So let's pull up that Tesla chart. And of course, I do really like Tesla. I am not, I'm long term. I'm a long term Tesla bull. It was my best stock last year, but not all stocks can go up all the time, and that's been sort of the case with Tesla. It's sort of in this long consolidation. It's trying to move above this reversal line that I have here. Trying to move above this reversal line. It did move above the reversal line, but then it pulled back to the 200-day average. I have an alert on this, and basically this alert is basically at 720. This is kind of where I think that you could start easing back in. But right now, I just would be a little bit careful with Tesla, unfortunately, because it ran up so fast that it's going to take time for it to base out. Now, is it going to be around next year? Absolutely. It's a great stock, and it's not going away. The only thing is that it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be a little bit more difficult in the upcoming. Upcoming. It's just going to be that way. So that's kind of that's kind of the long and the short of it with Tesla. All right, thank you very much. Let's look at CFLT. And CFLT. Confluent offers cloud-based platform. You know what? I had a reversal line in this one. I'll show it to you. Have this reversal line. It went way above that reversal line, so it definitely has tripped the trigger. Let me check my alerts there. Oh, interestingly enough, that's interesting. Berkshire B. I have Berkshire B. Crossed above the trend line, so I want to take a look at that in just a second. But yeah, I mean, what happened was it came up to this. This is the thing about IPOs. They're tough to play because they'll come up, and then they'll move past that, and then boom, they'll pull back. But the buy point on this is 57.99. It's 55.78 currently. But look at nice volume, up 3.25%. The volume though is about even, so that is not as strong a volume. What you really want to see when you see a breakout, you want to see it move above that pivot with high volume, typically 50 or 100% better than it normally does. And if it does that, then you have a confirmed breakout. Unfortunately, this is still testing it. So right now, if you're looking to buy this one, I'd be a little bit careful. Now, if you own this one and you're in it, as long as you're not down 7%, I would be holding on this one. But IPOs in particular are more difficult to play. They can be kind of difficult to play. So it's just the way it is. Let's take a look at some of the people from TikTok. Thank you very, very much. Oh, let's look at Macy's. Okay, this is a question from TikTok. Now, I'm an owner of Macy's. Macy's has, let's kind of look at that chart. All right, let's pull that up. There we go. I'm going to kind of zoom in on it a little bit. Kind of see if it'll move up. There we go. So we can kind of see it. It's a little bit tough with, there we go. Okay. Because I want to show you this action. It's kind of interesting. Oops. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I've got it set there. All right. So basically what happens, you can see on the 19th, I was in, I bought 100 shares. And actually, I bought 100 shares. I bought it right there, as you can see. Why did I buy it there? Well, because that was the top of this, what they call cheat. It's not really a buy point, this 2038. It's not really a buy point. But when it went beyond that, then I went ahead and I went in at 20. I was able to get in at 2071. And then, as you can see, on large volume, and this was a large volume. This had large volume on that day. Let's kind of take a kind of gander. Yeah, see, this is what told me was this huge volume. This is after earnings. The earnings were up 259%, which is incredible. But this volume was way up, and that's kind of what gave me the idea that it was going to move higher, and indeed it did. So it's stepping up. Now, I do expect it seems to be right at the pivot right now. So, it probably is going to pull back. I suspect there's going to be a pullback, and it's going to be resting at that pivot. So you could still buy it at this level. You can still buy it. It's in the buy zone, but you've got to be a little bit careful. It's been up 1, 2, 3 days in a row. Typically, something will go up about 4 days in a row and then pull back. So if you're going to buy, probably try to buy today or possibly tomorrow. I think by the end of the week, you're going to see it pull back a little bit. But once it does, then it will probably move higher. So that can be a very, very good thing with that. Now, interestingly enough, department stores are currently the #1 area in the market. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. It's just such a weird thing. But in terms of all of the sectors of the market, right now, department stores are #1, and Macy's is definitely a good one. So right now, you can buy Macy's, and it's not a bad buy because, interestingly enough, certain things are going to happen on the kind of on the fundamentals area. Now, I always like to buy on technicals, but I also like to, when I'm buying, I like to talk about fundamentals. Now, most people are mostly concerned with fundamentals, which is great, but you really have to buy using both technical indicators and fundamental indicators. Now, one of the things that's been happening with Macy's is that Toys R Us, which went bankrupt last year, sort of is being reformulated, and now Macy's is going to have Toys R Us in the stores, and I think that's going to be a big hit because that's going to bring a lot of people that hadn't normally gone to Macy's into the store. Newer couples, maybe that with small children, to find out about Macy's. And so with the kind of the retail apocalypse in some of the other department stores, I think Macy's could be the big winner here. So, also, Walmart is doing well and all those are doing well, but the Walmart customer that has a little bit more money might not want to be always shopping at Walmart. It's kind of not as a pleasant experience as going to a store like Macy's. So I'm actually very bullish on Macy's. It wasn't an area that I really wanted to go into initially, but it just looked so good that I had to kind of make a move on it. So so that's another one that you might want to kind of look at. Thank you, Umar. Let's take a look at GM. The automobiles have been it's a mixed bag with a lot of the automobiles. So I'm going to go over here to GM. And let's take a look at their chart. I'm trying to see if I can, yeah. Unfortunately, this GM chart, this is the reversal line that I have here. And what a reversal line is, when you have a stock that's moving downward like this is, you want to see when it reverses higher. That's a really good place to buy it. Unfortunately, with this reversal line, it doesn't look like GM is headed in that direction. Currently, the relative strength line is pointed downwards, and this is a sign that it's probably going to move lower before it moves higher. What has to happen is we have to see a reversal. We have to see this reverse move above the 200-day moving average, and then hopefully above that line there. This is the reversal line. If it moves to the reversal line on good volume, then we could consider buying it. But right now, I don't think it's a good time to buy it. Right now, I think you want to wait until it starts reversing. Now, when it starts reversing and it moves above that 200-day line, that's the absolute earliest place that you want to buy it. You preferably want to buy it at about this reversal line that I've drawn in here. So that's my take on GM. It just doesn't, the problem, GM is unfortunately having to give up a lot of profits because there just simply aren't enough chips out there. There's a chip shortage, and especially for the automotive chips. Now, interestingly enough, one of my picks right now is ST Micro, which is a Swiss Italian company that makes these chips, and it's doing quite well. So I kind of want to, as an alternative, because this might be a good way to play the automotive sector that you didn't, you could play it with more strength, and that's STM, which is STM, which is ST Micro. There we go, ST Micro Electronics. So I'll show you that chart in just a second. It's right above a buy zone, so it's not that extended yet, but it's getting there. This is ST Micro. You see, it moved above this buy point here. It pulled up, and then it's pulled back a little bit. It tested. This is a good thing. It tested that 21-day line. Boom. Once it tested, it's right back to the races. So I definitely see with this one, I definitely see an upward trend. It's going to go something like that. We're probably going to see, I believe, we're very likely to see ST Micro at a, I think basically within about a month, we're going to see it probably, let's see if I can get over to it. If it'll let me. Sometimes it won't let me. There we go. Let's see if I can, well, no. It's going to be at about the 50 level. So I definitely think we're going to see some very good appreciation, 10 to 15% in the next month or so with ST Micro. We'll see. I mean, sometimes that's a pretty bold prediction. I may be totally all wet on that, but I do think that's a good way to play the automotive area as well. So let's take a question from on Palantir. I own Palantir as well. PLTR is the symbol for Palantir. And let's kind of look at it. Palantir has sort of been in this consolidation range. Let me see if I can reorient this a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So there we can see it. And we can also see what's more important is to see the volume action. The volume action, as you can see, has been moving downwards. What that kind of means, all right. What that kind of means, that volume action, that means that the buyers and sellers are being more evenly matched. That makes sense because it's in this tight range. This is called a tight range. Okay, so it does. If my charts won't start jumping around so much, I can show you. This is very likely to break out of here. So here's what I would do on Palantir. If you're not in it already, I think that you could make a case to buy it right at or a little bit below 27. So I think about 26.50 would be a very good area to potentially buy it with a buy stop limit order. Now I'm going to have to get it back so it won't jump around. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with my screens here. Let me just pull it back to, oops. No. All right, there we go. All right, so this is going to be a little bit easier to see. There's going to be more of the big picture here. With Palantir, it's sort of in this tight pattern here, and I do believe when it hits about 26, then it's going to probably take and go higher. That's why the buy point here is at 26.50. So the earnings have been excellent on Palantir. I definitely think it has turned the corner. It is definitely reversed. See, that's why this reversal line is here. I'm going to kind of reactivate that line. That's the reversal line, and it has definitely moved above that reversal line. So we definitely have a reversal. The earnings are up, and as you can see, it reversed right when the earnings happened. So my guess is that as it goes higher, it's going to get stronger. So I'm definitely like this stock. I would consider buying it possibly at 26.50, maybe with a half position, and then 27.50 is the definite buy point on it on the consolidation base. So very good stock, and it's been strange. I've been out of it for a while, waiting for it to base. It looks like it's finished the basing pattern. What do I mean by basing? Well, what happens is the stock will pull up because it's an IPO, and then it will pull back, and then it will base. And this is the basing action. And then once the basing is finished, then it will continue its movement up if it's a good stock. And I do believe it is. So this might be a good time to get back in if you've been in before, or possibly initiate a new position in it. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Oh gosh, everybody loves Neo. I don't. I'm not in love with Neo, but let's take a look at Neo. Neo doesn't. Neo was sort of last year's news. This is the problem with the stock market. It's kind of like, it's it's kind of like there's the it stock, and sometimes there's the not stock. And unfortunately, Neo has just kind of come under a lot of pressure. It's in a downward trend, and it's below the average. If you're in this thing and you're out, and you're down more than 7%, consider selling, because it does look like this trend is going to continue lower. I think we're going to go down. We may see a floor with Neo at about 22.50 or so. That's sort of where I'm seeing resistance. That's where I'm seeing a floor for Neo. But currently, even though it was up a tad today, the overall trend with Neo is downward. So I can't, unfortunately, I wish I could be more, happy about it, but I'm unfortunately not. Volt, this is an interesting one. Volt Staffing, this is a good one. I have Robert Half, and that's one of the big ones in this as well. But Volt is an interesting company. It's this is not a bad stock at all. It's not right now. It's sort of in this kind of weird consolidation. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's kind of in this weird consolidation, and it is a lower price stock. So, but if you're looking for a lower price stock, I want to kind of show you another one called Pixelworks. I think it's PXWK. I think that's it. PXWK. This is a company that I just came across. Well, matter of fact, I can show it to you. This is the easiest way to show it to you here. Let me just pull it up here. If you're looking for a cheap stock, now Volt is a very good company, very legitimate company. Good stock, but there is, I believe, there is a stock that I think I want to point your invitation to. Now, I am not in this stock currently, but I do think it's a very, very interesting stock. Let's see, it's called Pixelworks. Is that it? No. Let's see. So I'm gonna go here to Pixelworks, I believe. I think I hopefully put it in there. No, it's Zim. Let's see. Okay. Where is it? Pixelworks. There we go. Finally found it. It's PXLW, which is kind of an odd symbol, but it's a relatively small cap stock. But I want to kind of show you this one. If you're looking for a cheap stock that might have the capability of doing really interesting things, and that's this company Pixelworks. And the reason I think it's interesting is because it made this, it pulled above the $4.67 buy point, and unfortunately it's extended right now. I mean, I'll be honest with you, but look at this volume. This is either getting ready to be accumulated or something. Something is going on with this stock, and I don't quite know what it is, but it's something big, and because you just don't get these kind of movements. This is PXLW is the symbol. Now it's a relatively thin stock. And I want to go here to the weekly chart and show you it's kind of been doing nothing, but it seems like it's now going to a higher high. So that is kind of excellent. And the relative strength line is up. So this is something you might want to put on your radar screen. Now, I don't own this one, but I'm considering it because of this action. I'm going to go to the monthly chart. This is not a new company. This company has been around for like 20 years, as you can see. Back in 2000, beginning of the dot-coms, boy, it was huge. I mean, it was way up there. It was like, it's like a $30 stock. Now, it's in a $5 stock. So it's really a penny stock. But this one is looking very good. And I think you might want to put it on your, potentially on your watch list. PXLW. And I think Volt is good, but take a look at this Pixelworks. Take a look at that. Google. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. As a matter of fact, I have a Google spread that I am trying to get an iron condor. And if I succeed on this, I will send it out to you. I agree with you about Google. Alphabet is just kind of the little engine that could. I mean, it just, I don't know what it is about it, but it just seems to, it seems to always be, very, very viable. And, this is the daily chart on it. As you can see, it moved. This is essentially a buy point here, 28,000. It's currently 28.25. So it's about $25 above the buy point here. So this is a very viable stock. You're absolutely right. This is a breakout. As you can see, I have that little indicator there. This is definitely a breakout. Now I have an iron condor. I'm trying to do an iron condor on this one. And if you're on the action trade alerts, hopefully I'll be able to, I'll be able to show that to you. But this is an excellent choice if you want to do a if you want to do a buy here. This is an excellent choice. Now it's kind of expensive, but if you buy 2 or 3 shares, I think you're going to be very well rewarded. This has been just an absolute monster. And Google is it's a good stock. I mean, it's a good stock, and it's a good place to buy it. Now, hopefully, let me just see if I can put this up here. It doesn't screw up. If you go to www Dallas Trading Floor, I will be probably trying. If I get a fill on this iron condor, I will put it out there on the action trade alerts. But you got to be a subscriber. at www.Dallas Trading Floor. And by the way, if you're interested in the Discord room, we have a great Discord room, and we have a lot of people that have done extremely well. I'm going to also put some of their comments in here because I just think it's great when people do well, and hopefully some of them are doing well in the Discord room, and that's available as well. But I do think I'm putting together a spread, an iron condor on Alphabet, and sometimes the iron condors can be really good because they can give you a very nice return with a very little a very little outlay. And that's one of the great things about them, is that they give you a lot of potential without a lot of outlay. I have a question from TikTok on ExxonMobil. XOM, of course, is the symbol. And Exxon is still in a downward trend. I kind of want to show you the chart. Oops, I'm going to show you the chart on it. And that is basically, we're looking here at the daily chart. If we draw a reversal line, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put that temporary reversal line in there. If we do that right now, we're kind of seeing that is the, that is basically the bottom of the consolidation here, but it's in a downward trend right now. So it is not probably a good time to be buying. I take that back. It looks like it's bounced off of the 200-day line, so it might be starting a movement up. And if it did, it would move from here. It would move up about 10 points to about 64. But it seems to be trading in a range. The buy point on it, 62.55. Of course, that's the ceiling price, and if it moves beyond that, then it's likely to go much higher. But that forms the kind of the upper limit of it. And it looks like the lower limit on it currently is the 200-day moving average. That's this black line here on the chart. So right now on ExxonMobil, I wouldn't be that excited to get into it. Oil and gas integrated. Now, oil and gas E&P is very highly rated, but oil and gas integrated, unfortunately, is not. It's 151 out of 197. So I don't think you probably want to go into ExxonMobil here. It just isn't a great checklist. It's a great company. It's a great dividend stock, but I just don't think it's a great trading stock right now. I think at least for right now, it seems as if, and this changes a lot, it seems like we're now starting to move back into some of the chip stocks, some of the tech stocks. It seems like, the chip stocks are starting to improve, and so we're starting to see some strength there. So that tells me that probably some of these commodity-based stocks, which ExxonMobil isn't really a commodity-based stock because the integrated oils, they do it all. They drill, they transport, they refine, they retail, they do it all. But it's telling me that it's going to be a little bit less advantageous for them. So right now, I'm starting to find the best setups right now. I'm finding are in some of the chip stocks. Interestingly enough, that's where I'm finding many of the very, very best setups out there. But ExxonMobil, it continues to be a great company, and it's not a bad long-term stock, but I just don't think I would buy it here. I just don't think I would buy it here. Just my humble opinion. Stop spamming. All right. Thanks. I'm trying to get to everybody. All right, ASLM. Let's look at ASLM. Let's take a look at it. ASLM. No, I'm sorry. Working by the stock. ASML. I'm sorry. Yes, AMSL. AMSL, by the way, is makes it's a Dutch company, and they make probably AMSL. They probably make the state of the art ASLM. ASLM. They probably make the state-of-the-art chip making equipment in the world. And if I can get my screen up here, ASML. So now hopefully this is going to work. There we go. ASML Holdings. Okay, come on. Yep. Let's see if it will. There we go. Yeah, this is a tremendous stock. It's quite an expensive stock, though. I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. It looks like it's just past this very nice little cup. 805 was sort of the buy point. You could definitely buy this here. I just don't know when they're going to split the stock. I think this is traded on one of the European exchanges. I think it's an Amsterdam exchange. It's got a 100% checklist. This is a quality stock. Would I buy it at this point? Well, it looks as if it's sort of bouncing. The best opportunity was on Thursday, but it still could be bought here. I'm still going to probably continue higher. I do think there may be a little bit of pullback, but we have some very, very nice volumes. So, yeah, I definitely think you could buy it here. Would I buy a lot of these shares? Well, probably not, because the group isn't very good, but this is a quality company, and I think you could buy it here. It's really not in a base pattern. Let's go to the weekly chart to see if there's anywhere we can buy this. I really think that it's not a bad idea to buy it at its all-time high, and it's close to that. So it came through earnings. The earnings were excellent. Sales were up 28%, but the profits were up 49%. This is a great company. And interestingly enough, if we go through as we're going through another semiconductor manufacturing cycle, every 18 months, they redo the dies on the semiconductors, and they go smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's very difficult. Some of these traces are so small; they're in the nanometers. I mean, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, they're about 1 or 2 atoms wide. Some of these traces, so it's just amazing that they can even make these at all. But the leading company that makes this equipment, this lithography equipment that makes this possible, the very, very dense chips, is AMSL. So this is a leader company, and we're going to see a lot of investment, because every 3 to 5 years, the chip companies have to redo their redo their equipment, and they typically buy from companies like AMSL Applied Materials. Now, Applied Materials typically sells to the memory makers like Micron, but AMSL does the very high-end chip design companies, chip foundry companies such as TSM and those companies. So it's a very, very interesting company, AMSL. Great company, and I think you could definitely buy it here. Thoughts on AMKR? Let's look at AMKR. I think this is one of the, Amkor Technologies, Tim P. Again, it's in the chip business. I definitely, this is where the action is. There's a lot of action in here. Even though this is 159 out of 157, I still really like this area of the market, where they're making they make grid array packages and provide test services. So basically, this is a good business too. There's been a lot of companies that have moved to Arizona in the chip business. So very interesting area. There's a very interesting cluster, of course, as you know. Intel is building 2 massive fabs down in Chandler. So I think you're spending about $20 million. It's just an incredible amount of money. Could you buy this company? This company looks very good, but I would watch list this one and see if we could find, this is very, very good. I definitely think this is viable too, actually. It's definitely in a buy zone. It's pulled back a little bit, but this might be, look at that. It's about $6 billion in terms of cap, and it's got options. So, and there is some short interest, but this is looking very good too. Definitely. I definitely think this is worth looking at. Definitely worth looking at. This area is starting to get more investment as, the key on this is, the question is, what happens to interest rates? If interest rates go up, a lot of these companies won't do as well, because there won't be as much capital investment. But as long as the interest rates remain low, there's going to be a lot of capital investment in the chip foundry business. So just the chip foundries at Intel alone could be a massive source of business for this company. So very interesting, and I definitely think it looks good. And it's got a 100% checklist, so I think it's definitely worth your time. Let's look at Macy's. Well, we did look at Macy's once before. Let's just take a quick gander at it again. As you know, I bought Macy's on the breakout, and it's funny, you wouldn't think that retail would be such a good business, but it seems to be. This is where I bought it on the breakout. As you can see here, the notation on it. The breakout happened basically at about 2030. It's now at about 22.58. So we'll see if it can move much higher. But it's up significantly. The most important thing here is it's up, but the volume is up too. This is really what's piquing my interest, of course, is this volume. Anytime it comes above that, this is an exponential chart. So anytime it comes above this red line here, you see a lot of interest. So this is definitely buyable. I definitely bought it on the earnings reaction, and I think you could still buy this. It's right in the buy zone. So I think it's definitely still buyable. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. We covered ExxonMobil, but let's look at XEC. Okay, Climax Energy. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems, it's funny. It's so back and forth. I have sold out all of my oil company positions. It's interesting. I was very heavy into them in the beginning of the year. I was very heavy into them. I've mostly sold them out. The price of oil seems to be fluctuating. We just don't know how it's going to go. This is excellent earnings. Cimarex oil had an excellent number. It's still really good. This is if you're going to be in the oil and gas, this is where you want to be. The oil and gas U.S. E&P. That's where you really want to be, because that's where the strength is still. And it did come down. It touched the 200-day line. I think we're going to get a bounce there. Could you buy it at this level? Yes, you probably could, because that's the consolidation. You definitely could buy it there, but I would wait to make sure that it bounces higher. And it did bounce a little bit. So this one may go higher. May go right back up, but we're right at the 200-day line. A little bit concerned about that. The relative strength line is 88, but it is pointed up, so that is a good thing, Floody. So I think you could. I wouldn't go in with a huge position here. As you can see, I published a small position. I was stopped out of it. I recommended it right as it pushed back there, and then we got resistance. I was pulled out, and I have not been back in since, because it just hasn't given me an opportunity. But I definitely like these, and I'm hoping that I can get back in. Got pushed. Oh, heck. Oh, I know. This is the toughest thing when you're in a stock. It's pulled back, and then you get stopped out. Oh, I hate this, but this is the name. This is part of the game, unfortunately. Should you get back in at this level? You know what? I think you could, but I would only buy pretty much right now. Now it's after hours. Let's see if it pulls back tomorrow. If it pulls back below, and I want to take a look at the number here. If NVIDIA pulls back below about 217.50, then I think you could definitely go back in here. I still like the stock even at this price. It is extended. I'll be honest with you. It's probably going to pull back tomorrow based on the run that it has. But I still think this is $150. This is a $250 stock by the end of September. I really believe that, and then probably even higher. Ugh, I know that is that's tough. Absolutely. Just because you got out doesn't mean you can't get back in. Absolutely. Doesn't mean you can't get back in. Hi, Jim. Vasco is down today. What do you think? SPY zone is. Let's look at VSCO. Let's look at it. VSCO. There we go. Victoria's Secret. And I had some Victoria's Secret, but I did sell it. I'll be honest with you. I sold my Victoria's Secret. I had a spinoff because I had L Brands, and then L Brands spun this off. This is not an IPO. This is a spinoff. Spinoffs can be very good, by the way. Carrier, which was spun off of United Technologies, has turned out to be a very good one, as well as Otis. So sometimes spinoffs can be really excellent because they're not like new companies. They don't have to prove themselves. They already have market share. What would I do with Victoria's Secret? Well, if I'm down more than 7%, I would probably sell it and then wait to see if it comes back. The earnings have been stellar on this. they've got an excellent online business. A lot of things are firing on a lot of cylinders. I do like the fact that they're in the retail business, but this is what I don't like about them, is that the clothing manufacturers are not doing as well as the retailers. So I think really where you want to be, even though they are a retailer, and I don't know why they're in the clothing, I don't want to know why they're in the clothing manufacturers. I don't know why but I think that you're better off with some of the shoe companies, believe it or not. And looking at them, let's look at Shoe Carnival, SCVL. This is another kind of retail-y play. Yeah, see, this is doing very well. This is one maybe you want to maybe move over to Shoe Carnival. Now, you wouldn't think Shoe Carnival would be a big deal. I'm going to be going to Shoe Carnival today because I need some new sandals. My sandals are all messed up, but I'm going to go get some at Shoe Carnival. But this one is one you might want to consider because it's the retail apparel shoes area is one of the best sectors in the economy right now. It's 9 out of 197. So instead of Victoria's Secret, maybe what you might want is to look at one of these companies like Shoe Carnival. One of these companies like Shoe Carnival. Docu. All right, let's take a look at Docu. Docu is investment grade, absolutely, but it's pulled back a little bit. I had it. I was stopped out of it, and I still like the company a ton. I do think it's going to reverse higher, but right now it's not at a buy point. Yeah, see, it's just there. It is. I was stopped out at $2.99. I'm glad I was because you see, it's pulled back. It's pulled back about $9. You see, and after hours though, it's looking like it's making a move. So it does look as if. Let's take away some of this markup. I had a lot of markup on this. Let's see if I can take away that markup. Yeah. So basically, what's happened is that it came down. It tested the 40-day moving average, then it got support, and then it pulled up to the 21-day. So this is definitely starting to make an upward movement, upward trend. And so it definitely got support at the buy point. So this is potentially, believe it or not, if you're entering a new position, this is not a bad place to enter it. Sorry. This is not a bad place to enter a new position in NVIDIA. I mean, in DocuSign. But if you're down more than 7%, you just got to be, you got to protect yourself. I do think we're going to see, I do think we're going to see DocuSign move higher. I do think we're going to see it move higher, and it doesn't look like it has turned. All right, and also let's look at PayPal. This is another one of my favorite stocks, and I have traded this multiple times over the years. Unfortunately, it's currently below the 40-day moving average. I'd like to buy them as they're moving higher. This one looks like it's starting to make its move, but I want to make sure that it moves above this 40-day line before I probably will buy it, because just because that's going to where it's going to be showing strength. Currently, it's in this consolidation. There's this cup pattern with handle. The handle, it needs to handle out a little bit more. So I suspect that with PayPal, we're probably going to see it go sideways probably for another 2 or 3 weeks. We're probably going to see it goes sideways for another 2 or 3 weeks. So I think you want to watch this one, but not buy it right now. So that's the deal there. Great question about Snap. I'll go over Baba in a second. I did buy Snap this morning, and Snap is. I also have a spread on it. I very much like this company. I do think that we're going to move higher. We're very good this is a very good technical chart. 73.59 is where the buy point is. We pulled down below it. We tested. We've moved up, and we're now right in the buy zone. So right now at 75.50, this is extremely buyable. Snap right now is extremely buyable. And everything is really good on it. It's got an 89% checklist. The only thing it's failing on is the EPS rating. It's the only thing it's failing on. Look at the internet content area. It's 16 out of 197. So this has really, really cleared a lot of the important hurdles. Internet content area. This is also where Google is. This is a really good area to be buying in. Snap seems to be doing extremely well. This is the one I did buy today. and it's definitely in the buy zone. So I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Now, BABA is another question, because BABA has not been doing as well, unfortunately. A lot of these Chinese stocks just are in a bad shape. Now, I actually did a bear put spread on this one. I actually shorted this one, as you can see. It's still looking very bad. I think it's probably likely to go lower. This is the head and shoulders pattern, and I do believe this is going to go lower, much lower. And so I think if you're looking for stock to go up, I don't think BABA is the place to be. Now, with Snap, it's a different story. Snap, I would definitely buy. BABA, I wouldn't buy. I'd short it, but I wouldn't buy it. Now, let's look at Adobe. This is another tremendously evergreen, great stock. ADBE. This is just these guys are just a profit machine. The biggest problem with Adobe is, when can you buy it? There's just no, it just doesn't base out. It just since the beginning of June, it's just gone straight up. Look at this, just gone straight up, and it just hugs right on that 10-day line. It doesn't even touch the 21-day line. This is a powerful stock. Would I buy at this level? No, I'd wait for it to pull back to the 10-day line. And if it pulls back to the 10-day line, that's where I would buy it. I would not buy it at this level. I would try to buy it right as it pulls back to the 10-day line. And the 10-day line currently for Adobe is 633. So we're about $20 above where we could possibly buy Adobe. I really, really like Adobe, and I think this is a very good candidate for a call spread or a put spread. Very, very good candidate, because it has this very nice. It's come out of this beautiful base, and then it's beautifully just going up every day. So definitely like the stock, but I wouldn't buy it here. It's just wait until it pulls back to the 10-day line, and then I think you might have something really good going on there. All right, this is probably my last question. Any hopes to hold? No, I would not hold, Neil. I just, please sell it, because you're going to be sorry if you don't. I don't think it's coming back. And unfortunately, that's sort of the end all be all. Well, I've gone a whole hour, and I really appreciate everybody watching today. If you want to get on the action trade alerts, very, very easy to do. They're free, by the way. I always like to mention that. They're free. And you just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. And you can, and if you want to do the Discord room too, that's the second one down. And also, if you want to order a mug, I just thought I would throw that in there. I got a whole bunch of mugs to sell, so hopefully you will consider buying a mug. And if you refer 3 people to the Discord room, you get a free mug. Definitely. So thank you, everybody. So I'll be back tomorrow at about 2:40. Thanks, everybody, for taking a look. Try to get on that action trade alerts. I'm going to try to put out some stuff if I get to it tonight. I'm hoping to do it. And until then, happy trading. And everybody, I just wanted to say, hopefully you had a good weekend. And I think the market is going to be trending up this week. I think we're in a little bit of a micro uptrend, which is a good thing for a change. I think we're kind of in this little micro uptrend. How long that'll last? Maybe a week or two, but I think that definitely we're in a little bit of a micro uptrend. So pretty exciting. So until tomorrow at 2:30 or so, happy trading.